allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of agenda.
Support.
All in favor, say
Hey,
no.
just a minute, I'm gonna have some questions under old business, and I have a policy issue I wanna throw out under new business.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Review and approve minutes. They look good to me.
Support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion. Approve bills.
I move we approve the bills, accounts payable dated July 24th for a total of $352,293.20.
Support.
A couple minutes to look at those.
Yes, please.
I got a couple questions. Car Brothers, we bought gravel from Car Brothers and Stone Co. I thought we had our own gravel pile.
We do for certain ones in certain places. Sometimes it's cheaper to haul it from one of theirs instead of hauling it from ours all the way across the county. One township would rather have the other stone. They don't like the stone that's in the Watkins pit. So we do from time to time purchase other places.
And our pit isn't by Car Brothers? Who are we with it with?
Well, we've got some gravel down at the Shannon's pit and then
Shannon's,
the Watkins pit.
And where's Car Brothers coming from then?
We're right south of Hillsdale.
Yeah.
Hillsdale, South Hillsdale Road.
Okay.
It really depends on where we're hauling, what we're hauling.
Okay.
Where's chopped tree from?
They're out of, I'm not lying to you now.
It was up metro area, wasn't it?
I wanna say Grand Rapids,
Really?
in that area anyway. Yeah. They do a lot of work all over. They put crews all over the lower half.
None of our local people have the ability to do this.
Well, we bid it.
We bid it out.
We chose them for the bid,
Mhm.
for Chop Tree.
Right.
They was a little bit.
Wow.
So the sizable bill to Jensen Bridge and Supply, this was a various size culverts to replenish our stock.
A bunch of 12-inch culverts, so we were about out of them. That's why we do a lot of the cross and the drive tubes with.
So the big tube for the Territorial Road project, has we been billed for that?
Yeah, that was on the last one. You
So the
commented.
previous one,
You commented how cheap it was.
it was only about, what, 12 or 15
12 or
thousand dollars.
17, something like
That
that.
was a little over 12.
Pretty low. So what about the crane bill?
That was
On
on the
That
last
was on
one.
there too, and roughly what was that?
I would have to pull it and look at it.
Who do you use for a crane now?
Well, again, we get quotes. That one was
I don't know.
Adrian,
Millbacher.
Some program. I had to pull the invoice.
Joe just told me about it, but I can't remember.
Oh, out of Adrian?
Regan, Boyd's Regan.
Oh, Boyd, yeah,
Boyd.
there we go.
Yes.
So I asked what a rigger was.
Back to Chop Tree, are they all
I was
done?
like, what's a rigger?
No, I'll get to
Okay.
that in a minute.
Yeah, we're paying.
Okay. Want to get ahead of me.
That's all right. Stay in your lane. I'm trying.
So this bill for almost 75,000 to the state of Michigan, on the Camden Road crush and shape, what would that be for?
That was part of our pay estimate, cause we have to cover a certain percent of that project.
Okay,
That was a federal aid project, they
And I
covered
think that
certain
was-
parts, we covered it.
Cause I've been getting more pay estimates, but nothing, that was the official big when they went. But
You just have the motion.
I think he got a support.
Yeah.
who was the support? I didn't
Yeah.
hear it. Okay. Come on in.
And give them a break safety for $5,700. That's the territorial road culvert replacement detour sign. We get reimbursed for that, correct? From the state of Michigan?
Not
No,
that one,
that's
cause it's,
No, that was-
they had to be removed again a second time. I had to pull.
And that was the, for that culvert, which
That's a local road,
was ours.
it's not a state highway.
Okay.
Are we ready? It's been moved and seconded to approve the bill. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
This one's got everybody on it.
Are you ready? Payroll dated July 17th for $128,520.62, July 31st for a total of $132,639.84.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
Yep, these are done.
All done? Treasurer's report.
Beginning cash and investment balance is $2,852,040.77. Total receipts is $438,635.62. Total in the bills and payroll is $328,24. Bonds and escrow is $5,250. CD reserve for 2 trucks is $684,954.91. Ending available fund balance is $1,969,143.24. Outstanding accounts payable is $79,302.36.
Questions?
Yes.
I'm looking at your deposits, and on 7/29, you have $212,409 from Hillsdale College for 5 applications of brine. But on your treasurer's report, that same amount is called, I think, 23 maintenance advance, or 22 MDOT adjustments. I guess, which is it?
Well, that 212,000.
And why would we, would we?
I would have to, Karen mislabeled that on the deposit sheet on this. It's, on the treasury report, that 212,000 is 2022 MDOT adjustment.
That's what I thought.
So
So,
I
because that was one of my questions, why would Hillsdale
Because-
College pay $212,000
And I think,
for
because right
Brian?
here, higher up is Hillsdale College, 5 applications of Brian, and it's $1,750.
I'd like it.
Well, and in fact, that was my question, it's like, well, what are we doing for Hillsdale College, and so then my follow-up question is $1,750 enough? How much road are we grinding?
It's like a 1 mile stretch it's where they're doing work and running trucks, and so they're trying to keep the dust down for the residents in the area. And so they've paid for 5 applications throughout the year
And they're paying 100% of that?
yes.
We're not paying any of that share. That was the other thing, but the 212 seemed a little salty, so that's what I was curious about that. So then, I guess I'm also gonna ask about the Camden Road flaggers. I see $7,400 and 40,000 were deposited. Is that because we were supplying flaggers for the contractor, and so they're paying us for flaggers? What is that about?
So I am going to have to ask Karen, so it looks like there was another copy and paste thing, because they gave me one check.
So the 70,000, that's state maintenance. I see that now over on your treasurer's report for
Okay.
40,756.29.
Yeah, so I'll have to bring
So
that
that
up
is
too.
incorrect as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, but the flaggers on the Camden
The
Road.
reason there was flaggers when they were doing that job, well, when Michigan Paving was.
Right.
Flaggers didn't show up, so we had to send our own crew.
So we sent our own crew.
So they reimbursed us.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I was thinking, but I just wanted that
Mhm.
clarification.
Yep.
And then I guess I'm just gonna note that Midwest Energy paid $104,000
Yes.
for permitting. I assume that's a solar farm, or was it something else?
Actually, that's a large project that they submitted 33 or 36 different permits. And so that's, adding all those up, it's like doing bores to put their utilities in the right way.
So where's that at then?
That's all
Oh,
over
there's
county.
Camden,
I mean,
right, Woodbridge,
Oh, it's all
all
over.
over.
Yeah,
So who is Midwest Energy then, if I may ask?
they're just a utility that gets to,
Are they working with DMC?
Contractor.
I think they're a contractor for Frontier.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
They're a sub for Frontier.
DMCI's been pulling their own permits.
That's what I thought.
Who's working off of Jonesville Road? That is huge. Over there,
Oh, that's solar.
Yeah, there's a
on
solar.
Solar,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that is huge.
Well, who's moving all the dirt, on the southwest corner of Jonesville, it'll be south of Ridgecraft?
That's solar.
That's all solar.
Oh, yeah,
That whole company.
that's all solar too.
That's solar, that's belongs to.
They've
Doug
got
Jennings.
plots,
He leased that
all
for
of them down
solar.
Jonesville Road.
Well,
But they're, I mean, it looks to me like they're moving a tremendous amount of dirt to build a building or build,
Might be a substation,
yeah.
Or the laydown yard, if that's where they're.
yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a huge project over
It's
there.
There's
1,500
multiple ones
somebody.
all over the state going in like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a big one going up north of Parma. I'm glad you're up there.
okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Standing over, we have public comment.
We're flying right through it. Again, I'm here today to find out a little bit more about our work agreement. It seemed to have stalled. Now we're on 8 months worth of no signed contract. And I know that when we had the last meeting, the majority of the guys, which there were 30 guys at the meeting, and 24 out of the 30 guys turned to be agreed upon contract down 24 to 6. So apparently the young 24 have a lot of You know, that's not 5 to 5 or anything, that's a big margin. So I'm really, knowing that we haven't gotten back to the table to sit down and bargain, you know, the guys are still coming in here, they're still doing their job. I think, Bob, you can relate to this. You come through the shop yesterday morning, and I know nobody talked to you, because we was hitting the ground running. And we do at times take pride in talking to you. But yesterday morning, don't take no offense to it, because you could see how busy we were. All the guys, not just maintenance. You know, everybody was hitting the ground running. And they don't care as long as there's some progress on this. When I go out to job sites, because I'm advocating for the guys, they actually thank me for coming in here. I mean, I should be over there working on that mower tractor. That guy could be using that. So I would like to see some movement on this contract if we can. That's all I have at this time until we maybe finish the meeting now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Manager's comments.
Alright, so I kinda talked to you earlier, so hopefully this will be quick, but we'll see. Just some quick updates from out in the field. The guys have been doing a lot of good work. As far as paving, we've got Burt Road, Lime Lake Road, and Day Road, all paver patched in or whatever. Seal coat will probably start in about a week or so, hopefully. And contractor is working on the trees. They've gone through pretty much the first 2 lists of open work requests that we had. They've done a great job, haven't had any complaints with it. We've still got a couple of individual trees here and there that we're gonna compile and give them, and usually they're either the hazardous trees or ones that are, I guess it's still hazardous if it's gonna hit a property, a house or something like that, has that chance, we're just having them do it. And they lower them down and they take care of the liability and everything. So they're going pretty good with that. The brine, all the first applications of brine are complete. Fayette has had their second application done, and we'll start with the second application, because Fayette's getting 3 applications this year, so we're going to get theirs in first, because they're going to get another one later in the year. So we'll start with all the other second applications on the 18th, and there's only 5 other townships that are getting the second application, so on the 18th we'll start those. It'll probably take a couple weeks, and those will be done, and probably by the time that's done, we'll schedule with Fayette as the one they want their third, and the brine will be done. The culvert on Territory Road's done. We paved it in the other day, so that's all sealed back up. As far as our state crews, they're out mowing for the second time, I believe, this year, the state trunk lines. We're also we put out a request for quotes to have a mill come in and mill off the intersection at M49 and US 12. That's like rougher than a cob from all the trucks pushing. And so for this year, we worked it with MDOT that we're going to have that mill, the profile mill, to smooth it out. Hopefully next year they're going to try to do a project that turns that whole intersection concrete. So that'll all get removed, new concrete, so that when the trucks do stop there, there's nothing for them to push. Because after talking with them, I feel that it's old concrete base there from the old highway that was paved on top, and all the heavy trucks are making the pavement slide on the concrete, and that's just buckling it up into a rough spot. And so they agree it needs to get worked on, but we're just going to profile mill it this year, get it smoothed out. Next year, hopefully get it taken care of. In that same request, we're also asking the intersection of 127 and 27 and 34. Are gonna do another profile mill there too, and just to smooth out the intersection. And so we're trying to see what the estimate's gonna come in at, and really it'll be a pass through to MDOT anyway, so we'll try to get those taken care of. Let's see, of course we've had crews up coal patching about every day. Our limestone and gravel patching, we're down to the last 4 townships, which is, right now they're working in Wheatland, so they'll be finishing that up within the next couple of days. Then they'll move to Pittsford. I believe after that, Stoneco has said the gravel that they're donating from Oshkosh will be done, so we'll be able to haul theirs, and it is actually coming from the Oshkosh pit, so we don't have to haul it from
Right.
Homer like we were thinking. So they're gonna have it right there. We're gonna haul that, and then we'll drop back down into Wright Township with limestone, and that'll finish on that. Let's see. We had a crew out working on Riker Road, which was an old 2023 contract that we had with Litchfield that was one of the last ones for 23 hanging out there. Did a whole deberm, and the deberm process created the ditching, but then put 2,000 ton of gravel on top of it, and I think it turned out really good. The guys did a good job on it. They've got like 1 mailbox to put back up, and then hydroseed the areas that they disturbed, and that'll be done. We took the township supervisor out there kind of in the middle of it all, and he thought it was looking great, and then so basically we just touched up more of the gravel and stuff after that, but he was satisfied with it. The mowing contractor completed the first round of mowing. The second round is anticipated to start on the 11th. And it'll probably, I think it took them like 5 weeks to make it through the county on the last one. So they'll be able to do at least that or quicker this time, because we tweaked the maps to where we had some of the subdivisions that they were still looking, trying to get in and mow, because the maps didn't say where to not to mow. So we took all the subdivision roads off and already highlighted them, saying don't go there. So they may even get done in 4 weeks. I don't know. But
And when's that gonna start, the second round?
the 11th of August.
And so the subdivisions, our guys are gonna mow?
Yeah, because normally it's just a spot here and a spot there, and everybody's got a mowed yard in most of the subdivisions.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
So we'll go ahead and take care of those, and that way that takes all that mileage off of what they bill us.
Refresh my memory. I thought when we did the contract for the mowing, we were only doing the first mow with them. I thought we were doing the second mow.
No.
Yeah, I remembered we were gonna have them come back for a second mow.
Okay, all right.
And it was really, I think the only question was how good they did it.
Okay.
If they didn't do well, we were like, okay.
Okay.
And I have not had a single bad comment. Actually, we've had a lot of good comments on how well it was done, how quick it was done. So
Okay.
I think it's a very good, and get our guys to do other road work and not just mowing grass.
Right. Well, and I guess the other thing is our mowers were supposed to do more of the long arm brush
And they
stuff.
have.
Is that what they've
They
done?
have been out, yep.
All right.
Along with the state, we're doing the mowing on the state trunk lines, but then all the second, third cuts for brush. Just a gee whiz.
I remembered something. And I've been meaning to mention this. On Mellons Road, there's a guardrail there south of Ball.
Okay.
Okay, and I thought guardrails were cleaned of brush, all guardrails.
That we have sprayed.
Spray.
And then that's like the quarters that we're doing. I think the guardrails they do every year, but that's sprayed for brush control.
Okay,
So over years it will.
Well, I guess I would mention that one because I think there's brush growing around that guardrail and out towards the road.
No,
So I've been meaning to mention that one. So sorry, that a little bit off track. But
Mine got sprayed maybe.
Mellons Road is fall.
Yeah,
South of Ball.
South of Ball.
Yeah.
Intersection of North Adams and Mellons Road, there's brush growing again on the west side. Needs to be mowed off.
North Adams and Mellons, you said?
North Adams, Mellons, same Schumack,
That
Mowed-
shoe
mowed last year, it's back. Now, I can mix up some stuff that it don't come back, but
Don't wanna know that one.
that's right. I really don't wanna stop and do that.
My shoe might just die.
So does mine, if I get to it.
Too dry.
Alright, so just so that you guys know, this weekend, we signed up for, and we'll have 2 pieces of equipment at the fairgrounds for the touchy truck
Mhm.
thing. So we're gonna have one of the new trucks that's got the wing plow, and front plow, and salter insert and all that. That'll be the truck, and then we're gonna have a grader.
Grader or grade all?
Grader,
Grader,
and so the kids can
smear them all.
climb on it. But just so you know, if you hear or see them, that's what they're doing. We've got 2 volunteers. We posted for who would like to do it. Got 2 volunteers to come in and do that. So I believe it's like 4 or 5 hours worth of time that we'll be paying for. But
Paid volunteers.
yes, well, yes, they're not volunteers. I guess they're.
I'd grease that
Just two
grader
people
really
sign the
good
thing.
before you take it
Yeah,
up
I
there.
get
Yeah, do the door handle and everything.
All right.
First hour is silent though, for those kids who are
Yes,
challenged with sounds, the first
Okay,
hour is
yep.
silent.
12 to 1, no sound, and then 1 to 4 is the rest.
Oh, they're gonna let somebody blow the horn?
Oh, kids get
Kids
to,
They
climb in
do.
there, hit buttons.
yeah, his first hour is silent.
So do the graders have horns on them?
It's just like a regular
Yeah,
horn.
it's like a regular horn.
It might be a little louder than a car
The
horn,
truck
but
that
it's
I
not
rode,
it's not an air horn. Let's see, the on-road bridge, we're back into submitting new data to Eagle.
Oh,
So four.
Cause that's, well, I'll get into this, but, with the change in Eagle, like I think you discussed in your last
Park.
meeting for the park, they are being very meticulous on dotting the i's and crossing the t's to all these permits. So we got another, I think it was back at our last meeting, they had requested some more information. So we got all that information from Charlie, resubmitted it to Eagle. That was all done back on the 28th, Monday. And so again, now we wait to see if they agree with what we submitted. Is it good? Because we've asked for a smaller tube is what it is. And so we've got to explain why we think a smaller tube will handle the flow of water and blah, blah, blah. So that's where that was.
I thought the hydraulics took care of that.
Well, the hydraulics called for the smaller tube,
Right,
which Sabina said that he would be okay as long as the hydraulics.
right.
Sabina's not there anymore. Now the person is there is saying, okay, you're asking for a smaller tube. I want to see this and this and this. This Sabina hadn't asked for. That's
But isn't the
never
river
ending
bridge
battle.
smaller upstream than what that one was?
That's part of the reasoning as to why it should and could go smaller. But
My reasoning is that it's a bridge that's already there, so we should be grandfathered in.
well, that doesn't work.
But that would be too simple,
Alright, so that's where we sit with that, we're just waiting to hear back from Eagle on that one, and if they agree with us at this point, then we know what size to order and all that. Buckeye Road, west of Bird Lake Road culvert, and the Somerset Road, north of Stewart Road structure. We've got CEI, which is an engineering company, they're currently working on the design engineering for those 2 structures. They've applied for the right-of-way permit to do the soil borings and to do the typo surveys, and so once they get those permits, they can start with those 2 structures. The federal aid project, which is the Concord Road, Herring Road, and Jonesville Road overlays, is tentatively gonna start on the 28th. Oh, they did. They did push it back to the next one, so that'll be 4th. They still have a completion date set for August 16th. So in 2 weeks, which is 6 miles of mainline paving, they can really knock that out fairly quick, but,
Who's the company that's doing this?
Lakeland Asphalt out of Battle Creek. So they are pushed back, but they are still saying right now anyway, they're giving us a August 16th completion date.
And that's with the shoulders? the new shoulders put in,
Yes, I believe so.
and we're gonna be out there inspecting those shoulders, make sure they're done to our specifications.
We sure will.
Okay.
We have inspectors for that.
I heard, a little noise about if all those roads are under construction and they're working on the city of Jonesville, is there gonna be a traffic issue?
No, they shouldn't. They're gonna, when they start, and they still haven't narrowed it down, but they said they're starting farthest away from them, which they're Battle Creek. So it's gonna be Concord Road. They're gonna mill from Edge of Metal on US 12 up past the curbing that's there in Jonesville, because that's gotta get milled out so that it can be paved into the curbing. Then the rest will just get paved all the way down to Sterling, and a butt joint will get milled back in from that, so it can dead end right into the butt joint. So that's the only two millings, the rest is just paving. They'll knock that out in a day.
Can we get to, do we get to millings?
I think we can. I mean, there's not gonna be that much there,
Oh,
but.
there's not a lot, I thought.
But yeah, we'll use them. And also, I think this timeline is gonna have them in and out of there before the thing in Jonesville even really starts.
Okay,
You know, so,
cause I haven't heard it, I guess, when.
yeah, I think that's
Jonesville
gonna be a
started.
little bit later in the,
The Jonesville thing, is that just gonna be downtown there, or,
No, they're going clear out to the village or city limits.
you're kidding me?
No, they're going,
Cause US 12's getting repaved. And then in addition with that, they were redoing their streetscape, which
That's
the
the
trees
whole
have come
streetscape.
down. But
every tree is
MDOT,
cut down,
yes.
down through Jonesville.
Yes, but MDOT is doing the repavement of 12 and they're gonna go to 5 lanes to 3 through the downtown.
and a bike lane.
With bike lanes.
Forget the bike lane.
Yeah.
And somebody said, how many bikes do we have in Jonesville?
But the thing
Well,
is,
get
and
more.
just for your knowledge, and this is just my assumption, is the part of what that's for is because when you can do the road diet and then knock it down to like 2 lanes and a turn lane and then put the bike lanes in, those bike lanes count as your non-motorized
Right.
match or your non-motorized that we have to put in a certain percentage average of every 10 years of our MTF, and they have to do the same thing. So that's gonna fill a huge number of years just by making those bike lanes. So that's why bike lanes get put in a lot, especially in the cities, is because that fills your non-motorized requirement.
We have a hard time with that in the county.
Anyway, let's see. So anyway, yes, we're gonna start with Concord, then they'll probably wind up going to Herring, and then probably Jonesville Road, then Herring Road. But, bridge maintenance, we have Albright Contractors out of Angola, that was awarded that contract to do bridge repairs. They completed the repairs on the North Adams, west of 127 structure, the Moscow south of Struble, and Hartley at Likely. They're currently working on the Pittsford north of Hartley structure. And so this is all repairs that, it's usually concrete repairs and stuff that, they can go in and, you know, maybe they'd have to cut out a part of the concrete, I don't wanna call it guardrail, but the guard down the side of the structure and replace that, or replace concrete patches, or, so that's what they're doing.
You have 9 bridges to do.
Yeah, there's 9.
We've used them forever. They're good.
Yeah, and they've done a good job so far, so we've seen. Let's see, for Monte Carlo, we have sent out letters to all the property owners. We've probably got a third of them, but I think there's like 30 property owners along that road. I think we've got a third of them back. So far, every one of them is saying, yeah, I'll support that, I'm in favor of it. So we still have to hopefully get a few more back in, to see that and the township can see that we're up over, 50% want to try to do it. And then that would be set up as a special assessment to do that. And that will include the little stub that goes off, I forget what that name is, but Monte Carlo makes a circle with a little stub with the cul-de-sac there, and some of those are on that cul-de-sac, have called and said, hey, we like it as long as we're part of this. Yeah. And so, it looks like it's got good traction, we'll have to see how that goes. I have been watching what Blaine's been doing, and so far he's kept all the water off the roads, and we've still got a lot of work to do. We've talked to the neighbor across the road from him that had kind of a washout problem on the north side of Sellers. And a bunch of stone and stuff that are in there to try to keep the washout from happening. He's agreed to let us come in there and shave that hill back, and I can move the ditch line away from the road, move it 4 or 5 foot off the road, and then it'll
Go around.
he said, dig what you need to dig. He said, I trust you, just let me know when you're doing it. And so we'll set that up probably later this year to start shaving that back and move that ditch line back. We're sending out a estimate for another special assessment type thing on Lenore Drive. The Lime Lake Association has asked us to put something together for them so they can kind of see what that would cost them, and then they're going to see if they've got interest in all their people, their association to do that. So we sent that to them. That's basically in the $325,000 ballpark. So we'll see more to come on that. Pavement markings will start probably mid to late August. They'll start with the special markings first, and then they'll do all the long lines after that.
When was that gonna start?
Probably mid-August, probably next couple, 3 weeks. Day Road east of Kelso, we've been working with Eagle and the Drain Commissioner to get it replaced without going through an Eagle permit. So we've done up a contract with the Drain Commissioner, and we're sending it off. Send it off to McChrysip so that McChrysip can look at it, make sure we're not adding some liability to us that they don't want us to do. But basically, if everybody goes through and Eagle agrees to it, that we can work under the Drain Commissioner's exemptions as long as he has a project going that extends outside the right of way. We can't just say, oh, the Drain Commissioner's project is the culvert. That they're not going to go for that. But if he's doing some kind of project to do other work on the drain, we can include that, and we would be working for the Drain Commissioner under his exemption to replace that culvert and don't have to go through all the Eagle stuff. So hopefully we're going to attempt to do it on this one, and once we get it back from Chris up and everyone, that'll be something for us to sign too. We're going to send it to Eagle to say, okay, this is what we got in place. Are you good with this? And if they say yes or whatever, we'll try to get this one nailed down. Then hopefully in the future we can use that same principle and just go off of that exemption.
We used to do that before. When Bill was sitting there, we did it.
Eagle's got a little more sensitive. So we're in the process of doing that. So the tree contract, they have done, basically finishing up the second list that we gave them. They've spent about 240 hours on trees and about 90 hours on stumps. And so really, other than the individual like hazard trees, as we start giving, they even said if they can wait, lump a few of them together so they can come down in one whack and take out a few of them and be more cost effective. But so I think it went well, and I'll probably be asking to continue that in the future years. But let's see, the stump drain, which is what the Drain Commission's working with their contractors. I think it's Solarsky's. They're planning on closing M99 on the 11th. So the 11th is a busy day. And it'll be closed until mid-November.
The 11th of
August.
Well, they think they're gonna have it done by mid-November.
They think. They don't even know what's down there, I don't think, till they get there.
So, more to come on that. But that's the plan right now, with talking with Matt.
Do they have like a performance on them so that they are done by November?
I don't know that, that's Matt's,
Okay,
that's Matt and MDOT's
okay.
deal.
I wondered about that because,
I think that's basically what Matt said.
It could be, it could have liquidated damages after a certain date, so.
That they didn't know what was down there until they get there, so they didn't have a real
they're gonna.
deadline.
Oh,
I guess we'll find out.
Yep, it's gonna be a big hole.
To put everything but the kitchen sink in it to hold the new drainage too.
they're gonna be in the ground deep down there.
So I think as you probably, you heard during the treasurer's report, the bonds are on file, are down to $5,000 something.
$5,250.
That's one bond that's left, that I've gotta contact that company just to, cause we've been contacting them all, because some of these bonds are 15 years old. There's really no point in most of these bonds, and the little bit amount that was in that bond is not gonna fix the road if they damaged it anyway. So we're trying to get all these bonds back to where we're back onto a current, if you need to get a permit or do something for the roads, we'll do something currently for that issue, and there's no need to carry all this money sitting there, you know, for
I wondered why that
decades.
was down.
Yeah,
like that.
and so we've got all the companies.
I'm waiting on the one you have to talk, and then, on the next AP, another one will be paid.
Okay, but they've already agreed to it,
They've
it'll be
agreed
paid.
on it,
This is
yes.
the one, is the only one that I've gotta call, cause he wants to keep it, unless, well, first off, the permit that falls under is expired in 2010.
Yeah.
Okay? And also the permit, if he wants to get really irate with us, that permit also says he'll provide us with 500 yards of gravel every year and brine anytime we ask for that road. So if we wanna go that route.
He'll probably send you a check.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only
Um,
1,000.
So anyway, that'll clear all the bonds off of there, and then at any point, they need to, because some of these bonds, I guess, were done way back in the day as an annual bond. Yeah, you can haul whatever you want, whenever you want, basically. Well, that's not any good. So they will get permits, just like anybody else. We won't do any annual bonds like that. We'll go from there. Let's see, probably the last thing, we probably need to discuss the 5K race at the park, because those are certified roads, and if we're being asked to close the roads for this event, it's a political fundraising event, so I think we have very little on a policy that says
I don't think we
how,
have.
what we do. There is, under the permit inspection fees, what it costs to do certain things, and overhead banners, decorations, parades, etc. is one permit, which isn't much, it's like $22 for the permit to have. And then, but then there's also a temporary road or lane closure, which is $110 permit fee to close or temporary closure of a road or a lane. So I guess I'm asking you guys to discuss again as the road issue, not as a park issue. How do you want to address this? I guess technically, if you want to look, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 5 or 6 roads in the park. Now you can close them all off with one. Do you want to treat that as one road or 5 roads?
Well, if we close the entrance, we already did the others.
But you are
They just can't get
closing,
to
you are closing it to the public. The rest of the public couldn't then access. Now granted, this
Any
is
of the
gonna be
public can access it if they're in the race.
what's that?
If they're in the race, any public can access it.
Yes, for the race, everybody's gonna have to somehow get there, register, do all their things, so everybody's gonna be there. Then you have to close the road so they can run the race. And they have to run the entire length of all those
Yeah.
roads twice to cover 5K.
That'll leave me out.
But what is, Mike said that he met with Jennifer and they laid out the course.
Mhm.
So what is the course?
Well, I don't know, because nobody's come to the road commission
And told us.
to ask us even to get a permit, to do anything.
So
So,
why are we making this so complicated? Why can't we just close the park for whatever time she wants to run a race and let her run a race?
okay, but what are you gonna charge them?
Well, my thought is there's only one road into the park, correct?
Right,
So if you close that road, effectively all the roads are closed.
Okay.
So you pay for that one road.
So the next person that wants to do the same kind of thing, but yet wants to do it out in the country, and they're gonna run around this block, and want you to close all 4 roads,
They're gonna have to pay for 4 roads because there's access to those 4 roads from other points. It's not for one point of access.
that's not what it says.
Well, again, can we use
Again, I'm
common
just giving you
sense?
information.
Yes.
This is very much a policy that is right in your ballpark, to decide how you wanna do it, and how you wanna set a precedent for the future. And I'll go with it. It really doesn't matter one way or another to me, I just need to know how to address it, how to deal with it, and then also, so the next time, we can deal with it the same way.
I guess I would agree with what Kathy and Bob both said, that by closing that state road, you effectively shut the whole park down.
I
Now,
agree.
somewhere out in the country where you're gonna do a block, you're gonna be dealing with probably 4 roads there
And multiple accesses.
and multiple accesses to it. That's an entirely different situation.
What about a subdivision? Someone's doing a 5K in subdivision, there's only one way to get in, so that would be treated the same way as.
Same way.
That would be.
I would think that would almost be a no, because you got a subdivision, you got too many residents in it, there's no
Right,
resident,
right.
well, there's one resident that you gotta keep
That's
in
not,
mind.
it has to be.
Right.
This is a unique thing, because there's one resident,
Right.
you know, and if, like the board talked about at the earlier meeting, if they were to rent the community center, then you don't have that conflict of somebody renting those.
Then we got.
But, and so you don't have to deal with that one resident, and I'm sure they could. Like I said, there's really not a lot as far as the policy or anything to go by, so
Right.
I'm asking you guys to get your
Right.
direction.
And it's only, Gary, it's only like 2 hours, isn't it?
3 at the most.
3,
Probably by the time you register and everybody's done.
say 8 to what, 11, maybe?
Yeah.
At the most.
So worst case, to me, worst case scenario, and then you guys can argue it all you want, is they ought to do the overhead banner decoration parade permit, and they ought to do the road closure permit.
Right.
And
So if somebody wanted to run a 5K in a subdivision, do they have to get approval by everybody who lives in that subdivision to close those roads? How does that work?
I would have to say, we would have to stand in and say, no, this isn't a proper.
We would just,
you
you can't,
just couldn't
because
do it.
there's too many people
There's- yeah,
involved.
It
Okay.
affects too much
Okay,
stuff.
all right, and I'm okay with that, because, again, you shouldn't be able to just willy-nilly
Well,
close
that's-
down roads and have.
You might be
If they
able
want to
to
close,
close
if that's
a
it,
certain road.
but they can still do if the road's not closed? Cause I know like at,
Running
Devil's
races
Lake,
are
they do
different
their
than bike.
5K 4th of July run at Devil's Lake.
Bike races
The roads
are
are
different
closed.
than a
No,
running
it's not
race.
bike race.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, bikes can kind of go with the flow of traffic. Runners, not necessarily. So it's a lot more for the traffic
Right.
to watch out for all these runners than, because they're going a little faster in the bikes. But I would say in a residential spot like that, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, again, I was just curious. All right,
So I guess here is a concern that I have. So when I brought the check in, for the deposits to reserve the 2 pavilions, outside pavilions, okay? Okay. Karen told me about there would need to be a permit, you know, to use the roads. But she said there was no fee.
I don't know where she got that.
Well, she told me that at the window. The day that I brought the $80 check in to reserve the pavilions. So, you know, to me, that's a concern that I have, that in a sense, now we're coming along and throwing some additional things at the person who wanted to make the reservation, you know, in a sense, like after the fact.
Yeah, but this is a unique situation, it's not something we do all the time, and as you know, we address park issues, but they're not park experts. So, again, if this were a wedding and she gave out misinformation, and we do weddings all the time, shame on us. But this is a 5K run, it's the first time we have done it, as far as, well, first time since I've been on the board, we've done it. And so I think there should be latitude to say, hey, we're all getting up to speed on this type of new event, and how do we wanna handle it going forward?
And in the
Well-
past, much.
And I think I'm going where you're
Go
going.
ahead.
I think part of where, if not all of where she came from was because in the past we have had things that have closed the road or something that didn't get charged a permit, because you had the permit, but waived the fee. Because those were all like a community involvement or nonprofit fundraiser to benefit. And originally, and I'm not sure whether this is just hearsay, originally I was told that this was originally pitched as a fundraiser for the parks. When we got the flyers the other day, and that's what brought it up, is I got the flyers from the representative, and it clearly shows that's a political action fundraiser. That's for her.
Proceeds are not going to.
Yeah, it's not like a community involvement thing.
Look at the last page, last.
Yeah, there's two different flyers there. The first two are the same. The last one actually labels out all the prices and.
Who to make the checks out to, sponsorship.
What if we,
level.
alright, you'll probably yell at me. What if we just put a sign up, park closed from 8 to 11 o'clock? We're not closing the road, we're closing the park.
I think we need to.
I don't think
we
you
can
can,
close the road.
because
They're-
those aren't park roads. Those are
They're
road
road
commission roads.
commission roads.
No, we're closing the park, you can still have the road.
Which means people could come
Where
in,
are they gonna run?
right, and then you got people running on roads where people would drive on.
I didn't mean them people, I meant the publics.
I think.
So that's what actually brought up the probably with the difference in not charging or charging, because in the past, and we
Right.
did do a lookup, there's about a half dozen of them, I think, in the past that weren't charged, and they were all like a fundraiser kind of thing. This isn't, as a political type thing. I think we need to stay with the permit fee schedule that you guys approved.
Right.
In October of last year.
Well, I totally agree.
Has all.
I don't think we should be waiving fees for an event that's raising money for a private organization, which a political fundraiser is a private organization. When it's a community fundraiser that's gonna help support the community, I get why we would waive those fees.
Okay. And so that's where that probably came from.
Right.
It was when it was brought to my attention just the other day, and that's really the first time anything's ever been brought to the road commission about this.
Right.
That's when I threw up the flag. So that's where.
And those were printed probably way before the pavilions were rented. So there's been no discussion.
Well, apparently it's been pushed a couple times anyway, so I'm not sure. So anyway, I guess I'm looking.
This is the first time I've seen any of those flyers.
Well, we just got them 2 days ago.
I wasn't here last week, so I don't know.
No,
Are
it was
these-
just,
Have these been distributed?
I don't know.
They've been online. I've seen it online.
Yeah, I
On
don't know that.
Mhm.
Yep.
No.
So apparently it was originally in like June or July.
I thought
then
they
it
first
switched
brought it up to
August.
do June,
June.
and then I've heard nothing about it until I saw those.
Okay.
Right.
And now it's September.
So I thought it was just like, oh, things didn't work out. But,
And I think probably this is gonna drive some of this, but I think we need to take a look at, there's a state document that deals with overhead banners, decorations, and parades. That's where that comes from. If you wanna stick with the criteria in that, or do we need an overarching policy?
What you would recommend and what would be the difference?
Well, I do know the existing overhead banners thing from the state is like old.
Are
And
they
so,
gonna have overhead banners?
what's that?
Are they gonna have overhead?
No, that's just the name of that,
Oh,
that document. And so they lump everything together. It's overhead banners, decorations, parades, etc. And it's actually worded like that. It is very old and got some outdated verbiage and wording and stuff like that. So a lot of places don't always go by it. But should we have a policy for Hillsdale?
I would recommend you bring back at the next meeting or next month what you think your recommendation would be.
You can probably tell that right now.
Because at least then we have it in writing, we have something to read, we, have a little background.
I can say I've never run into this before.
This particular thing, I guess I haven't either.
Well, the reason, the county doesn't, because the cities usually are the ones that have the parades. So they're the ones that deal with this.
Yep.
This is the first time as a county we've dealt with it, and it's because the park roads are county roads.
Yep.
Otherwise, like the fair parade, it's in the city. Jonesville, when they do their,
Now, if we can turn
the
them park
couple
roads over to the park,
Riverfest,
that'd be
Memorial Day parade, it's in the city, so the county doesn't get involved with that.
Okay. I'll see what I can dig up between the two and see what we can come up with, but for everything that we've got right now on hand, it would be those two permits, to me, and that would be a total of $132.
Okay.
And that would close off one road, which would in effect close them all off.
Yep.
Which I think you need to for the safety of everybody.
And you really don't want somebody coming in running over.
Well, it'd be that and the, pavilion, or not pavilion,
running over
community
cars.
center.
And the community center, all that kind of stuff for the parks, I'm gonna stay out of and let
Parks
you
handle
guys in the parks handle that, cause that doesn't have nothing to do with the roads, so.
Nope.
I guess the only thing would be, I would say we have to do something for the resident to make sure they're aware, they.
Correct,
What
that
about
2
the-
hours
What about the
that
person, have they already rented the pavilion or the
No,
community center? Oh, they
no,
haven't.
they want.
They've asked about it, but they were told this could be going on, and do you even wanna have your event with this
Right.
going on? They weren't sure yet.
we haven't heard nothing back.
But the
Alright.
statement that I made stands. Consider it rented. If I have to write the check myself, I will do that.
Well, and the fact is, that once the event's over with, then the people could rent the pavilion at that time too.
well, the thing is once it's been paid for the day, and I wouldn't get into that. It's been paid for.
That's a
You
whole
don't
nother,
wanna do it.
that's a
And
whole
then if
nother.
somebody else came in who dirtied it, who,
Right.
you know, who did.
Do I get-
But
Would
that
only
would
pay
also,
half, cause I only get a half
Gary,
the day.
that'd also give them restrooms too,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was another.
and parking.
restrooms.
Yeah.
doing that porta potty.
Very neat restroom.
Shoot, porta potty costs you,
Mhm.
Mhm.
what, a couple $100 a day these days?
Just for an
Just for,
event.
yeah.
Alright.
And we gotta come up with something because this ain't that far off.
Well, that's why I said what I said.
Okay. Alright, was that it?
Making sure, covering everything there. I guess the only other thing I'll say is, when it does come to the, I won't say much, but when it comes to the contract negotiations, There has been communications, there is a contract negotiation scheduled for the 19th, and we're bound by the mediator.